Hello, today I'll discuss about third law. Okay, so next topic is third law. That means third Newton's law. Newton's third law. Okay. So in this law, according to third law, for every action is every action in nature, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Okay. In other words, we can say that if object A exerts a force on object B, then object B also exert an equal and opposite force on object A. We can give you one example. If we push a wall, then suppose if we push a wall by give some force like 10 Newton, then instantly the wall also gave 10 Newton force on your hand. Okay. So some properties about action and reaction. So action and reaction should be like this. That means the action and reaction forces have always same magnitude, but they should be opposite in direction. Okay. Forces always act on two different objects. That means if action exerted on A body, then reaction should be exerted on B body. Okay. Different object, that's why do not cancel each other. So action and reaction never cancel to each other. Last point, they are always act along a same line. Okay, so action and reaction always act along the same line, but because they are act always on two different bodies, that's why they cannot cancel to each other. Okay, just look at here, law of conservation of linear momentum. Okay, so here I am proving this law. So just look at here. Let us assume that the instantaneous momentum of two particles system, that means here I am assuming a system which contain only two particles, and these two particles having masses m1 and m2, and momentum is p1 and p2 respectively. Then the net momentum of the whole system will be p vector equals to p1 vector plus p2 vector, right? Let two forces f1 vector and f2 vector act on particles of masses m1 and m2 respectively. Here I am assuming that two forces, that means a net force on m1 mass is f1, and if net force on m2 mass is suppose f2. So if forces exerted on these two bodies, then these two bodies, that means the momentum of these two bodies should be changed. This is from second law, right? We know from second law, if force exerted on any body, then the momentum of this body should be changed. So just look at here. Let in delta t time the change produced by forces F1 and F2 in m1 and m2 mass are delta p1 and delta p2 respectively. That means here I am assuming that F1 force and F2 force exerted on these two bodies during delta t time. Okay, and for this forces, that for these two forces, that means if we assume that this is two bodies m1 and m2, f1 force exerted on this body for delta t time and f2 force exerted on this body for delta t time. So these two forces changes momentum of these two bodies, and suppose the momentum of this body is delta p1 and momentum of this body is delta p2. Okay, respectively. So the net change in momentum equals to what? So the net change in momentum equals to delta P equals to delta P1 plus delta P2. If we divided both sides with delta T, then just look at here, delta P by delta T equals to delta P1 by delta T plus delta P2 by delta T. That means if we assume that delta T tends to 0, that means this time interval is tends to 0, then we know, that means basically here I am doing this limit of delta P by delta, if we take limit in both sides with respect to this consideration delta T tends to 0, then we have to take along this side also delta T tends to 0, delta P1 by delta T plus limit delta T tends to 0, delta P2 by delta T. Okay, so this one will be dP by dt and this one will be dP1 by dt and this one will be dP2 by dt. Just remember this, if we converted delta to d, that means delta of something to d of something, then this is the procedure. If we take limit of the denominator tends to 0, we have to take limit of denominator tends to 0, then delta is converted to dp. So here delta p by delta t equals to dp by dt, dp1 by dt plus dp2 by dt. What is dp1 by dt? dp1 by dt indicate rate of change of momentum of m1 mass, right? And from second law, this is coming from second law, and we know from second law rate of change of momentum equals to force exerted on this body, and we know force exerted on m1 body is F1, so F1 equals to dP1 by dt and F2 equals to dP2 by dt. Okay, dP2 by dt. So we can replace this two form by F1 and F2 vector. So just look at here. So F1 equals to, here I am assuming that F1 equals to sum of two forces on first particle. One is external force and another one is internal force. So that means we have to know about that, what is the meaning of external force and what is the meaning of internal force. Just look at here. Internal force means, here I am assuming that this is a system, right? And this system formed by these two particles. If here another particle is exist which is not under this system, here I am assuming this is our system. It depends on your assumption. So that means this third particles is not in this system. This system only holds these two bodies. So according to our assumption, if the forces acted between these two bodies, that means if this body give, suppose here I am assuming that this body gives some force on the, suppose this is the body A and this is the body B. A body gives some force on B body, which is suppose F, and this third body is also gives some force on B body, which is F dashed. So here F is internal force. Why? F is internal force of this body and F dashed is external force. F dashed is external force of this body. Why? Because if force exerted on this body by a particle which is under in this system, that's why this force considered internal force. But if dashed is external force for this body, because this force exerted on this body by this particle which is not under this system, that's why this is external force. Okay, so like this. So here we assume that if one force is the sum of internal and external forces, which is exerted on the m1 mass or first particle. So f1 vector equals to f1 internal plus f1 external. That means this force exerted on this body by second particle, right? That means m2 particle. This is the internal force. That means this force exerted on m1 body by m2 body. That's why here I am assuming this internal force, and this force is exerted on this body by any external agent. Similarly, F2 is the net force on m2 mass, which is equals to internal force F2 plus external force F2. So that means this force exerted on m2 mass due to m1 mass. Okay, so that means we can write dp by dt equals to f1 plus f2. F1 equals to what? F1 internal plus f1 external plus f2 internal plus f2 external. Just take all the internal along this side and all the external along this side. So we know from third law, internal forces always equal and opposite. Okay, that means these two forces are action and reaction force. So that means F1 internal equals to minus F2 internal. So F1 internal plus F2 internal equals to 0. That means they are action reaction pair. That means if M1, this is M1 body and this is M2 body. So if M1 body give F2 force, which is here I am assuming that